Ironwood Studios surprised just about everyone when they dropped the trailer for Pacific Drive at Sony's State of Play presentation in September. Since then, we've gotten to see some new screenshots, a creepy video, and learn more about the game world and the player's car. Let's start with the screenshots. This one was posted with the caption, "Strange large orange growths have been appearing throughout the zone and glowing from within. We have not been able to determine their true purpose." Now, at first I thought this was the same bridge we saw in the trailer, but it's actually different. As for the glowing orbs, your guess is as good as mine. One interesting quote from creative director Alex Drackett's recent interview with game developer has to do with all the weird creatures and anomalies found in the Olympic exclusion zone. He says, "There's not a literal history where we uncover every single detail about why this world is the way it is. It's much more about the individual micro-stories, the story of a person, the story of a single weird anomaly." So it seems like a lot of our questions about this world may never be answered. There won't be an exposition dump about the history of the zone and a detailed list of everything that went wrong. I'm sure there will be some explanations, but they'll most likely be incomplete and leave room for players to come up with their own theories. The other screenshot recently posted is the player's station wagon in the woods at dusk. Might not look like much at first, but it kind of confirms that Pacific Drive will have both days and nights. Now, none of the trailer footage shown takes place during the day, but the caption for this one specifically mentions the word dusk, so this has to be a clue, right? Honestly, the reasoning behind this is probably just because things don't look as creepy and mysterious during the day, so maybe they just wanted to show the trailer during the nighttime. Next, let's look at this new bit of footage. It was posted on Halloween with the caption, "Unauthorized transmission," in all caps. This is a Bigfoot sighting, found footage style clip that was recorded on January 17th, 1967. It also shows the coordinates where the footage was recorded, which is presumably where Ranger Station 9 is located. Obviously, this goes along with the whole otherworldly forest thing, but I think the biggest clue it gives us has to do with the title, an unauthorized transmission, meaning the ranger or whoever recorded this wasn't supposed to show anyone, or maybe they weren't supposed to see it at all. Presumably, the government was trying to cover up one of their experiments gone wrong. This also ties back to Alex Drackett's quote about Pacific Drive being full of micro-stories. Nothing from my little theory there was explicitly told to us. Rather, I used what I knew about the game and some clues from the video to piece together my own story. Let's actually dive into that interview a bit more, because it gives some new information about our car and its personality. There are two main takeaways from the interview. You don't have to be a car person to enjoy this game, and your car will act like its own character. When designing a game where your car is your most important tool, Ironwood Studios wanted to make sure the repair system was detailed but not overwhelming. So while it won't be too difficult to swap out core parts of your car, your choices when doing so will affect how the car acts and runs in the future. In addition to this, the enemies we face will also change things. The team has been focusing on creating fun and fair enemies that can interact with the car in different ways, and will also shape how the car's mechanics manifest. So this definitely won't be your typical driving game. As Alex said, we were presented with this challenge of we need to make things that are entertaining to interact with from the driver's seat. He then compared the team's approach to Pacific Drive with other games that prominently feature cars. Even first-person driving games or racing games automate plenty of everyday car interactions through the controller, with little need to look around the car's interior. We didn't get any more info about this specifically, but it seems like there will be a lot of interactivity within your car. Aside from it being your only form of transportation, your car also displays a lot of important info on its dashboard, and it seems like you'll really need to pay attention to all this in order to have any hopes of surviving. This leads me into the last point about your car being its own character. The player's relationship with the car is very important in Pacific Drive because it's the only way to fight enemies and make it out of the zone safely. Ironwood Studios is putting the car at the center of their design strategy. Here's what Alex had to say about that. It's fascinating because when you own a car, there are habitual patterns that you get into when you're doing a repeated action. And when you start to pair that with the player's ability to personify or get attached to a game character, those are the things that build that relationship with the in-game car. Again, we don't know anything more than that, but it sounds like Pacific Drive is going to be more than just a basic roguelike game with a car in it. It has an interesting and mysterious world, systems that are deep without being overly complicated, and a pretty unique approach to driving. If you missed my other video where I go over everything we know about Pacific Drive so far, then I've got you covered.